What's up, people? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Cam Newton says, if I see a person putting their hands on a woman, I'm going to put my hands on them because I love them. Now, this is a pretty interesting conversation between Charleston White and Cam Newton. When it comes to this conversation, we've had this conversation multiple times here on the Coffee Pod. I think for most men out here, we would all agree that we want a world where less violence happens towards women and men, towards the people who we care about, especially, and love. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world. We live in a world where they're dangerous people and they do dangerous things, which brings us to the topic at hand. If you were to walk into a situation where you saw a couple getting into it and the man was getting violent, should you step in as a man? I've said that whether a man's going to step in or not will be completely based on how he decides to assess the situation. We do not live in the time where it's always the best decision. We just don't. For a lot of guys, if they encounter a situation like this, they're thinking to themselves, is that a loved one? Is that a woman who it is my duty to protect her? Maybe my wife, my sister, my mother, a family member? Is there a deadly weapon involved in the situation, right? And I've been pretty vocal to encourage men to be very careful with just jumping into situations and carefully assessing the situation, because we don't live in a society where if things go wrong and you end up doing a really good job of hurting a really bad person, that the possibility of you avoiding jail time, death, are completely avoidable, or that woman turning against you, right? We've had these conversations before. Anyways, here's Cam Newton and Charleston White discussing exactly that. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
If I see a person putting their hands on a woman, I'm going to put my hands on them because I love them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that ain't,
I'm
we not
shooting
doing
out
it.
anger. Yeah, I'm shooting out anger. Man, nigga ain't got no business getting in my business. What I'm saying, it's my business. Leave us alone. Now everybody finna you want now your kids finna be without their father because you want to say this.
I'm going to be at home.
You don't know that.
I'm telling you I'm going to be at home.
Because what ends up happening, it's always the good guy that loses his life.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't never the bad. We don't watch this situation hold, so that's why I don't get into domestic situation. If I see a whooping it, I mind my business.
Yeah, that's some sucker shit.
All right, so Cam Newton says, watching somebody, a woman in particular, who you don't know, get hands put on her and choosing not to get involved and maybe calling the cops is some sucker shit. And listen, we've all seen the video where Cam Newton is manhandling like what's it like, 3 or 4 guys at some event where things got out of hand. I'm not saying that he's not the type of man who can't handle himself, or neither are you, or neither am I. But this idea of walking around in our generation where guns exist, like you're invincible and willing to die, for a lot of women who aren't willing to do anything for you as a man. Because my question is, if men are called to die for women who are not associated with them whatsoever, risk their life, that's what they're doing, put themselves in harm's way and risking their life. What are women called to do for the men around them? And it's not like they're just sitting there and they're kind and pleasant. No, these are women who are saying that they don't need a man. And Cam's saying, if you're not willing to get involved, that is some sucker shit. And speaking of celebrities, you know who else thought that before he got a reality check by almost losing his life? Idris Elba, who I'm personally a fan of, and I'm a fan of Cam as well. Do you guys remember this video? It was titled, Idris Elba Almost Died. Idris learns you can't save all women. Let's get it. Idris Elba reveals he was recently held at gunpoint after intervening between a man and a woman arguing. It quotes him saying, "I nearly lost my effing life." Let's check out this story. Trying to be Superman. Trying to be Batman. Trying to be Green Lantern. I don't know why that Green Lantern was funny. Or trying to be James Bond. Off the screen, right? Let's keep watching. Get more details about what exactly happened, because the way things turned out for him are shocking. And this obviously stirred up a lot of conversation online. People had some strong opinions. So the caption reads, actor Idris Elba speaks out and reveals he was held at gunpoint, stating the following: "I nearly lost my effing life after attempting to stop a man threatening his girlfriend outside a club." So he's in the club. He sees a guy threatening his girlfriend, probably to harm her physically. And he gets in between that altercation. The caption goes on to say, according to the Daily Mail, Idris spoke with the publication to reveal details about how the incident outside the nightclub almost turned deadly for him. He said a guy was wailing on his missus, screaming in her face, "I'll effing kill you." So really get this picture, because I think most people would be shocked by the sight of actually seeing some guy beating up his girl, saying he's going to effing kill her. What would you do in this situation? Here's what Idris Elba did. He goes on to say, and so on. I come around and I go, look how beautiful she is. Why would you talk to this beautiful princess like that? Okay. Idris claims that this is when the man pulled out a gun and pointed it at him, saying, "You talking about my girl?" Listen, I'm not a de-escalation expert here, but something tells me that approaching a man who's putting his hands on his woman and saying, "Why would you do that to such a beautiful thing?" and talking about her in that way, it doesn't seem like the best way to move forward. That's just me. You guys comment down below. Idris went on to say he thought I was trying to hit on her. I mean, what? The choice of words, man. The choice of words. The choice of words. The choice of words. What do you guys think of that, man? Could there really have been anything he would have said that wouldn't have got that guy triggered? Because you're going to intervene in a situation like this. Things can go left. But again, there are probably other things he could have said. Up for discussion, comment down below. The last sentence here reads, I remember thinking, don't play negotiations like that. Consequences, man. All right, so he obviously survived the situation, probably said, no, man, I'm not trying to hit on your girl, whatever. And this reminds me of another video I did a while back of a man who actually lost his life in a Walmart, getting in between an altercation between a man and his girl, except this guy died. And his wife was there with him, and she begged him to not get involved. All right, so I actually want to read some comments from the Cam Newton and Charleston White video in response to him saying not getting involved is some sucker shit. First comment here says, Cam finna learn the hard way. I think so. Because again, it's not that you shouldn't do something. It's that you just can't walk around like you're Superman, because not every situation is what you think it is. Somebody else here says, Cam lost that one. The laughing emoji. Here's another comment that says, this is real life, Cam. Think he Batman. This next commenter here quotes Cam saying, I'm gonna be at home. And so Cam Newton was saying, hey, I'm gonna make it back home. This commenter goes on to say, yeah, the big house in the sky. Ain't nobody finna tussle with Cam Newton. Another person here says, you better leave us alone, with the laughing emoji. Laughing. Of course, he's laughing at what Charleston White said there. I don't think anybody would. If you've seen the video with Cam Newton, like 4 against 1, I think it was, and you've actually watched that video and Cam Newton steps up to you, if you're not in your right mind, you're not thinking, let me fight Cam Newton. No, he's right. People who know him are not going to look at him and think, let me fight fair. Here's somebody else who says, laughing emojis, facts for Charleston. Somebody else here says, minding my own business too. Here's another comment that says, now everybody finna die. Laughing emoji, tears. Here's somebody else who says, Unc ain't lying. We've seen this happen too many times with the shoulder shrug. Somebody else here added, Cam must think he's Superman for real, with the crying laughing emojis. Or he's willing to risk his life, leave his family, his wife, his kids, for the honor of protecting a random woman. No. Because the truth is this. For most men, they actually, and a lot of chicks won't believe this. When men see that, they want to step in. For a man who has a family, For a man who has children, he's not going to risk all that. He has to tell himself, don't get involved. If he's decided that's where he draws the line, especially if he's not sure if there's a weapon involved. And there are couples out here who unfortunately might turn on you when you get involved in these type of situations. Not all situations like this are the same. And there might be some situations where I might decide to step in, or another guy might decide to step in, depending on the situation. But this idea that if you don't step in, then you're weak. Man, come on. Stop it. I'll tell you what, Idris Elba's never doing that again, from what it sounds like. Listen, guys, of course, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Do you agree with Cam Newton? Maybe you do. Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you as always for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.